What's up, guys? I know it's been a couple of weeks. I've been a little bit busy. We had state testing, and I had you know, my teacher. I had a lot to do, but it's over now, and I should be good to play at least a little bit every day. So I'm gonna finish this here. Now you notice I left Yorda behind. You don't really need her for this part, so you can just leave her there because she's gonna have to follow you down anyway. And there's no real big threat to her unless you like stay outside for a long time, but. Anyway, we're going to go over here and pull this because we're trying to get the sword. So a couple of you have asked me some new questions, and I'm going to answer them while I'm playing here. One question is, do you have Skype, or can we add you on PSN? I would love to have new friends on PSN. My screen name is GhostofGriever. I'm adding an annotation to this video, so look to the left or right. I don't know where it's wherever I decide to put it. And Skype is the same thing, GhostofGriever. So add me. Just put a message that you're from YouTube or something, just so I know, because I have, like, occasionally I have some creepers send me stuff, and I've never heard of them in my life, but you should be able to find me. Alright, now we've got our sword. Ta-da! Glorious sword. So my birds are pretty quiet now, but they were chirping a while ago, so hopefully they stay quiet while I'm recording. Oh, man, I had a scare with them the other day. Well, actually, it wasn't the other day, but it was like a couple weeks ago on Saturday. My boyfriend and I went to see Gabriel Iglesias at the Benedict Center, which is downtown Pittsburgh, and that's where I live, obviously. Anyway, I came back at like 1:30 in the morning, and my birds are free flying. Right now I have two. I have an English budgie, and I have just a little budgie, and their names are Squall and Machiko. Now, Squall I've had for... Move, Yoda. Squall I've had since... Squall's going on 2 years. I've had Machiko since college. And they're free flying, so, you know, my room is pretty bird friendly. I have a lot of electronics, but their beaks aren't strong enough to bite through anything, and they don't typically shoot anyway, because I've got a lot of stuff that they usually stay in their cage. I have a couple jungle gyms, and right now I'm watching Squall run around like a chicken on his cage. He's so funny when he runs, because his legs get all skinny. Anyway, so they will, stay out of their cage even when I'm at work, because I've never had an issue, and, you know, typically do that with my birds. I come home at 1:30 in the morning, and the first thing I usually do when I get home and go up to my room is I check on my birds. My birds were not there. I have no idea where they were. So I panicked immediately. I went from being really tired to really awake, so I ran over to one of my sister's old rooms. I have 3 sisters, and none of them live here anymore. But this was my second oldest sister's room, and that's where we keep some cockatiels. And the cockatiels were asleep, so I heard fluttering, though, and, you know, it wasn't them, because they were both sleeping. So I kept the door open, I go back out in the hallway, and the fluttering is following me, and I turn around, and Squall was following me down the hallway, so he must have seen me go in the room, so I picked him up, put him on my shoulder. And now I'm looking for Machiko. I can't find Machiko anywhere, and I have a big white cat named Oliver, and he's a good cat, and he's a big fat thing, but he's adorable. He's enormous. Hold on. Okay. Phew. I always worry that I'm gonna miss that. You have to be quick about this, because if you take too long, Yorda will get grabbed. And you don't want to go in another room from here, because Yorda will get grabbed, and you have very limited time to go grab her. So anyway, Oliver was bit by one of our cockatiels when he was a kitten, so it sort of scarred him. And I never really worry about him with any of my small animals, because he is a hunter, but he's a smart cat. Like, he knows. And anyway, you want to go in here because you need to pull this lever. Don't go downstairs to the drawbridge to the other room, because Yorda will get grabbed. We're gonna have to go back downstairs and grab Yorda so she can come with us, because we need her to do this next part. I go downstairs, and when I came home, Oliver was really hyper, and I wasn't really sure why. I go downstairs, and Oliver's sitting in our living room, and there's my itty bitty little tiny Machiko sitting next to him, and they're sort of like looking at each other, and he's just watching her, and he's not in a stance where he's like gonna attack her. He's just kind of like watching her. So I went over to scoop her up, and I must have startled her, and she fluttered away, and Oliver chased after her, and but didn't. It was like he was concerned. It was really cute. So I was mortified, and I locked them both in the cage, and but it just was incredible to me, because like I trust Oliver, but I really thought that he would. I don't know what I thought, but it did make me feel better about when Ollie comes into my room and hangs out with me and my birds. But he was just in here a minute ago, but he left. But Machiko has a crooked beak, so she's really tiny. She's exceptionally tiny for a budgie. I worked at Petco for a couple of months when I was in college, and it was a interesting job. But one of the dog trainers was teaching me how to take care of the birds. And I've had birds all my life, so it was really interesting. I was excited about it until like I went to the back room and I saw this little cage, and there was a small budgie in it. And I was like, it was a windowless room, tiny room, and it was kind of cold, and there wasn't any activity or anything in there. Nobody. It was dark. And I said, what is this little bird doing back here? And she said, oh, well, she has a deformity. So I looked at Machiko, and she had a very crooked beak. And I said, well, why don't they get her tested or something to see if she's okay? Forgot about this. So they said, oh, well, Petco's not willing to pay for the vet bills, which I was really surprised to hear, because Petco is supposed to be very pet oriented. I don't know what I would think, but I would think that if they preach, that they would practice what they preach, I guess is what I should say. But no, apparently not. So I talked to my boss, and I was like, I'll take the bird home. I don't want it to be here by itself. I'll take good care of it. And this was almost 4 years ago. Was it 4 years ago? Yeah, because it was the year I graduated. Damn. So I filled out the paperwork to adopt her, and they charged me, of course, for adopting, but whatever. But they wouldn't pay for her vet bill. Turns out she's totally fine. She just needs her beak trimmed here and there, and she's small because it's difficult for her to eat, but she is a tenacious little thing, and she is pretty good at keeping her beak trimmed, and she's really good at adapting, so I really tried to give her a good diet to keep her vitamins up and things, and she's very spunky. She's small, but she's spunky. She has no issues, just a deformity. No, she's perfectly healthy. It's just that beak. So, I worry about her since she's so tiny, but apparently I don't really need to worry about her because, Ollie's not going to torment her too much. And I just got this. Now, you want to make a beeline right for this ladder, because if they grab her, for whatever reason, well, they were supposed to grab her, that's where they'll take her, so. But anyway, I only worked there for like 2 months. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan. I'm not a fan of most pet stores, though. Just as a precaution, we're running down here. They chase us and look creepy. Just thinking these would be a good cosplay. I need to Google that if anybody's ever done eco monster cosplay. I think I've seen Yorda and stuff, and maybe the queen, but never. I think I've ever seen the monsters. No, you're not going to take her. All right, this is a great transition because we're going to start heading to the next arena and move on. So I'm actually going to stop the video here just for the sake of transitioning.